listening to Cess and C Flash, always talking sports on Village Legends podcast.
Shout out to LeBron and his magically recovered knee. Welcome back, folks. We are back once again, Village Legends podcast, episode 8. And we cannot wait to be great for this episode 8. I'm your man, Cess. My boy C Flash is here with me. We're going to take you around the sports world today. The NBA playoffs, the NBA finals are set. What a ride it's been. We'll talk about it. WNBA is getting hot and heavy. MLB, the summer months are upon us. We'll go over the power rankings. C Flash will give us his boxing segment as always. We'll talk a little tennis. Take you out with our extra point. Shout out to some birthdays, and we'll go from there. A lot of stuff going on this week in sports. C Flash, let him know, my brother. How's everything? Talk to him.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. My good people, we are here for episode 8. We're here to definitely shine once again and get this thing going. We're going to have these talks about the NBA. One of the hottest topics because of the NBA finals is finally here. Starting June 5th, which I believe is a Thursday, between 8:39, game 1 of the OKC Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. And I just believe that, again, from previous episodes that we've talked about, that I said it myself, that basketball is back. And I think we're going to be definitely getting our popcorn ready. We're going to need to get our popcorn ready because these boys are for real. You have some stars. There was a debate about if Tyrese Halliburton was a superstar. And I sat there and I listened and I said, hey, why wouldn't he be? Look what he's done for that team. You take him out of the equation and Halliburton and the Pacers are struggling. What he does with that team and how he sets up things and sets up players and plays is major. I believe the head coach of the Indiana Pacers would definitely speak, which is Rick Carlisle. I apologize, but Rick Carlisle would definitely speak and say that this man is definitely needed. Not only because he's a point guard, we all know in basketball, the point guard is the general of the floor, but the way that he has been playing, he's the reason why they're going to the NBA finals. Same thing with SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, which I've also said in previous episodes, and my man Sess, we've had our debates and talks about it. Basically, this young brother is the MVP of the league, which is, well deserved. And to see these two heavyweights get into the NBA finals starting June 5th, it's going to be a remarkable one. Me personally, I believe that OKC will win the NBA finals, will win the NBA title, and so on and so forth. I just don't see the Pacers able to stop that OKC defense, which is very tough. And I've been saying that as well. The OKC defense is very tough, and defense wins championships. So that's what you think.
Man, oh man. A lot of people are not that excited about this NBA finals. I'm not one of them. I think it's going to be a good one. First off, let me give you props, my brother, because you called it. You called both of these matchups. You said OKC would advance to the finals. You called it in 7, but that's okay. They won. And you said that the Pacers would beat my Knicks. I had the Knicks in 5, and unfortunately it was not to be. Shout out to the Knicks, by the way. Great season. I'm not taking anything from them. They had a great season. We can talk about why and what happened and what led to the loss, but maybe we'll save that for next year. I think a lot of people calling Brunson, saying he was a little soft at the end there. I don't know. It is what it is. All in all, they're getting on Cat too and everything, but all in all, the Knicks had a great season, so shout out to them. On the other side of the coin, SGA did his thing. Edwards kind of did not, right? He kind of disappeared a little bit, Ant-Man there at the end. He did his best, but it was not to be. I'm with you on this one. I think the finals are going to go to the Thunder. I think they're on a roll that cannot be stopped. Their defensive is strong. Their role players are strong. So that should be an excellent finals. I'm going to take OKC in 6, my brother. That's what I'm seeing.
Mind you, real quick, Sess, OKC is favored.
Mm-hmm.
They are favored heavily in the NBA finals. That might be extra motivation for the Indiana Pacers. And that's what they're going to need. I'll tell you that right now, because OKC is for real. Of course, there's flaws, and no team is perfect. But I just want to say that towards the end, and I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, I believe definitely that it's going to go 6 games, and OKC will become the NBA 2025 NBA champions.
Can't wait to see it. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it unfolds. Should be a lot of fun, my brother. Should be a lot of fun.
You read that right. OKC and Indiana are in the NBA Finals. No super teams, no big market agendas, just 2 young squads out here wrecking everybody's bracket and making NBA Twitter cry. SGA's gliding like a ghost with a 30-piece in his pocket. Jalen Williams, certified problem, and Chet Holmgren looking like Slender Man with a jumper. On the other side, Tyrese Halliburton is tossing dimes like he's in a video game, and Pascal Siakam turned into a playoff beast when it actually mattered. Game 1 tips off June 5th. And if you're not locked in by now, you're missing history in the making. Hit that follow like SGA hits that step back. Subscribe before Halliburton throws another no-look that breaks the algorithm. This is the most unexpected finals in years, and we're covering every crossover, clapback, and clutch moment. No LeBron, no Steph, no excuses. This is the finals. The basketball god snuck past security, and we're here for all of it.
What else we got? Anything else with the NBA?
Yes, my brother, real quick. NBA. So, what we have also, not only just with the NBA finals, we are dealing with the NBA draft, lottery draft, and free agency. That is also going to be coming up through a lot. Number one is the key free agent is LeBron James. And we've talked about on past episodes, previous episodes, about what is LeBron going to do. His influence, through topics on ESPN and other sports shows, they have gone on record, and his agent, Rich Paul, which they all consider themselves to be brothers and family, but has come out and said, does LeBron have favor and does he have influence? And that's the influence on any team that he goes to, mainly the Lakers. Do they go and confront and console LeBron about picks that they're making? AD, that was also traded to the Mavericks for Luka in that blockbuster trade. He gives bits and pieces about the fact that LeBron knew this was going to happen. Course. But LeBron comes out and says, no, I am not in control of all of that. Anyone who knows that when you have a mega superstar on your team, ownership does come and talk with you first. And just to get your advice and your thoughts on the moves and the trades that they're about to make. And I say, LeBron, I mean, listen, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. LeBron, you are aware, just like Michael Jordan is aware. Kobe Bryant was aware. A lot of the great NBA players were aware of these moves. So you can't sit there and insult our intelligence.
That's right. And real quick, LeBron 2 weeks ago was on crutches, stumbling and bumbling with his strained MCL. And this week, he was bouncing all over that stage with Drake at Drake's concert, like without a care in the world. So shout out to LeBron and his magically recovered knee.
Number 2 will be Kyrie Irving. Kyrie suffered, I believe, a torn ACL during the season. And, I feel that might have hurt the Mavericks in excelling and moving forward into the next round. James Harden, the beard. I'm tired of even saying the beard. I want to be clear. I'm not a James Harden hater. James Harden is a very good basketball player, folks. I just am not a fan of superstars that we label superstars when they're one-dimensional players. We need to see them play both defense and offense. It's great that you could shoot threes. It's great that you could beat people off the dribble. We understand all that. But at the end of the day, we still need you to play both ways. We want to see more defensive effort. Miles Turner, who's in the NBA Finals right now with the Indiana Pacers, and Julius Randle. I want to know how, and from all the listeners, we know that you guys have your opinions, and you guys can make comments on where you think some of these free agents should go, because soon after that, we also have the NBA draft that's coming up.
Predict the finals winner and the number 1 draft pick. If you're wrong, we're screenshotting. Comment your picks below, or forever hold your L.
And I got the top 5. So, Seth, what do you think about the top 5 free agents that I named thus far? And where do you think they should go? Especially, I know that, once again, my brother, I know that you are a Knicks fan. Yeah. And I know that you still hurting, but I'm not here to rub it in your face. But what do you think the Knicks need at this point? Are we just going to just turn to the draft? Or what do you think they need as far as veteran help?
That's a great question. Veteran help can come in many shapes and sizes for the Knicks. They could use all the veteran help they could get at various positions. What I think they really need, though, is they need a primetime scorer. And I'm not talking about Brunson, because he's a point guard, and he's not a big point guard per se. The Knicks need a primetime scorer. A guy that's going to take the 2 or the 3 position and light it up every night. I don't know if that guy's out there. I don't think it's Harden. We've talked about Harden before. I don't want to take a flyer on him as a Knicks fan. I don't want him. So we'll see what happens, brother. The draft and the lottery, the Knicks do have a good spot in the draft, which is good. Speaking of the draft, by the way, I was reading that 32 college players who are considered prospects are staying in college because of those NIL deals.
Yes,
that
they
we
are.
talk about. So the draft class might be a little bit slimmer than usual, but we'll see what happens, brother.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, it's definitely going to be one to grow on. Getting, like I said, once again, second part of this conversation is the top lottery NBA draft picks. Which we all know who's number 1. Cooper Flagg out of Duke University, who truly is well deserving of being number 1. The Mavericks are the number 1 team in the NBA that's going to draft him. I think he's going to be a great addition. He has a lot of tools of players from the past that remind people of the players from the past, and he has something that he's going to add to his own legacy. As long as Cooper Flagg stays humble, stays healthy, and the sky's is the limit for this young man. We have Dylan Harper, from Rutgers, who the Spurs look like they're up to pick him. Dylan Harper is the son of the former Knick great Ron Harper. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be something great to watch. We have Ace Bailey from Rutgers as well, who the 76ers are looking to pick up.
Nice.
VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor. The Charlotte Hornets are eyeing him, and they're in place to pick him up. Trey Johnson out of the University of Texas. As of right now, we have an unknown team, and we will see come draft night who exactly will be picking up Mr. Trey Johnson. These young guys are the future of the NBA, and we wish them well moving forward. And we hope to see, again, that I'm not wrong, that the NBA is back. We just hope the NBA is getting better and better and better. And that's what we want to see from these guys.
That's right, my brother. So the NBA Finals, folks, June 5th is when they kick off. We'll cover it here on the Village Legends podcast as only we can. And we'll move on now, my brother, I think.
Well, hold on, Seth, real quick. I I don't normally like to engage or talk about stuff like this, but unfortunately it's out there. And again, this is another topic of, I believe it's been the third athlete who might be going through some stuff outside of their sport. And this is real life stuff that we've talked about in previous podcasts. And that is Zion Williamson from the New Orleans Pelicans, the former Duke star, who is accused of rape and years of abuse dating back to his time at Duke, which includes 2018 and 2023. The Jane Doe they call, or the woman who is accusing him, is seeking $18 million to $50 million in this civil lawsuit. And at the end of the day, again, these are sensitive topics that we really try not to talk too lightly on, because again, some of us have children, so it's not about picking and choosing who's wrong and who's right on these particular things. I believe that Zion Williamson and his team of defense lawyers are working in his best interest, because he is definitely said he is not guilty. So we are going to see how this pans out and hope the best for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I have not read that story, so I'm not going to comment on it, but we'll keep you posted as we go along and hope everything works itself out there. We can move on to the WNBA, which at its first week is in the books. A lot of things went down, my brother. One of its stars got injured. Another one is on the come up. Talk to him. Let us know what the WNBA is going through right now.
I would sit there and say that, it's still the beginning, which is crazy, because it's the beginning of the season of the WNBA, and it's not something that you want to hear as a fan, not something that you want to hear as an organization when your star players are injured. We all know that the star topic of last week was Caitlin Clark injuring her quadricep. We wouldn't say that it was an injury that just happened. Caitlin probably had possibly been working through it. The timetable was 2 weeks, but through further evaluation, they said it's more than 2 weeks. We just hope and wish that she gets back to normal. We could talk about how this hurts her team through the Eastern Conference, because the Eastern Conference is very fierce and tough competition. You have to go through the top of the mountain. And when I say the top of the mountain, the top team in the mountain is the New York Liberty. They are defending world champs. You got the Minnesota Lynx. Then you have Atlanta and Phoenix. So, Caitlin, when she does come back and she comes back healthy, she has a lot of work and a major workload with her teammates and herself to try to get back into contention.
A lot of people were on social media screaming and yelling about her injury, because they're saying that the rest of the league's being too tough on her. The refs aren't calling it, but she's being abused every night. In my opinion, she's a pro, and this is professional basketball. It is what it is. Got to get tough, or you're going to miss time. That's the way it goes. So on that end, no sympathy for me. But shout out to Caitlin. Hopefully she gets back into form when she's ready to return.
Every contender's one injury away from disaster. Village Legends, we're tracking the chaos. Follow and like so you can stay in the loop.
Another thing wanted to mention real quick, your girl Paige Beckers had her best game as a pro, 19 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. But she did leave the game late, and now she's in concussion protocol, so she's going to miss her next 2 games. The coach said she didn't complain until after the game, so hopefully she's not major and she'll be fine, but a nice start for the rookie as well. And what else? You got anything else to add with the WNBA?
No, my brother. That's about it.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Kelsey Plum on the LA team. she's balling this year. She's averaging 24 and 5 assists. She's lefty. She's a great personality, and she's been nasty this year.
Since she left the Las Vegas Aces,
Yep.
I feel that Kelsey is playing with an edge and a chip on her shoulder. She has a lot to prove. I really don't know why that release or that trade, if it was a trade or a release, I don't know why that happened. But Kelsey is out to show the world that she is to be reckoned with as well.
That's right. She's a great player. So shout out to the WNBA and its stars as they heat up towards the summer here, my brother. A lot of stuff going on throughout the sports world. We're going to go into Major League Baseball now. Major League Baseball, folks, as you know, my favorite sport. So I love talking about it. This week is another great week as the season heats up. The power rankings are as followed, ladies and gentlemen. Rounding it off at number 1, it's been a constant. The Detroit Tigers are playing great baseball. They're at the top of the list for the Major League Power Rankings, led by Spencer Torkelson, who is on the verge of 14, 15 home runs already. The Tigers sit at 38 wins and 21 losses. They're number 1 on the Power Rankings. Number 2, we got the Philadelphia Phillies getting strong starting pitching. They're having some bullpen struggles, as my man C Flash broke the news to me before the show today. Taijuan Walker being moved to the bullpen there. But still, with all that, they're 36 and 22, tied at top of the NL East. So they're number 2 on the power rankings. Number 3, the Yankees. Aaron Judge still tearing it up. He's hitting 398, bro. It's crazy. He just does not let up. Aaron Judge hitting 398. They're getting good pitching. They're getting good hitting. Yankees at number 3 on the power rankings at 35 wins and 22 losses. The Mets are at number 4, tied with the Phillies for first place. As we talked about before the show, Edwin Diaz has been on fire, returning to form, baby. We're hearing them trumpets in our heads right now because he is 12 for 12 this year, my man. 12 for 12. So shout out to Edwin Diaz.
Big time.
Yes,
big time.
sir.
I mean, listen, that injury set him back. But you know what? Edwin is someone who's a baller. He's a competitor.
Yep.
And this is something that we were all clueless about, but we still felt, hey, Edwin will be back.
Yep, absolutely. Now, it's a long season, and I'm sure he'll have some ups and downs. But right now, let's ride the wave. So the Mets are at number 4 with a record of 36 and 22. At number 5 this week, the Cubs remain hot. They have the best center fielder in baseball, a young man by the name of Pete Crow Armstrong. He just had one of the best Mays on record. As a matter of fact, him and his teammate, Seiya Suzuki, the first teammate combo since Mauer and Morneau. Remember them? Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau and the Twins.
Yes.
To have a May where they had 7 or more home runs and 27 or more RBIs. So they're tearing it up. Pete Crow Armstrong has 50 RBIs already. So shout out to those guys. The Cubs at number 5. Couple honorable mentions real quick. The Braves. Not that I'm a fan of the Braves. I actually hate the Braves. Anybody who knows me knows that. But I got to shout them out. Ronald Acuna is back. The first pitch he saw, he hit a home run. The first ball that was hit to him in the outfield, he threw the guy out at second. So Acuna's back. Let's hope he can stay on the field. The Braves are not doing so well. They're 2-6 in their last 8. Let's see if Acuna makes a difference for them. And then another quick mention on the other end of the spectrum is the Colorado Rockies, my brother, who are stinking it up. Just hit their 50th loss of the season, franchise record at how quickly they got to 50. So, you know, it is what it is. And that rounds up the MLB rankings. Real quick on the Mets, my brother, if you've noticed, Soto is still not where he needs to be. And we're still winning. So let's do it, baby. Let's keep it going.
Well, you know, let's talk about Juan Soto. I think a lot of people got to understand something is this, and they don't have to understand it, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. Juan Soto signed a $765 million contract. So there's a lot of things that factor into that. Okay. We are all human beings. All right. We are not perfectionists. We can never be perfect. When you sign, ask yourself, my good people, please ask yourself, if you sign a $765 million contract that was offered to you, how would you play? The thing that comes to mind is, do you have to be perfect? Do you now no longer have no flaws? And playing for the big money market team as the New York Mets is, the pressure is real. So what we contend with as, podcast hosts and, sports lovers, we have to be very understanding to know that, number one, it's still early part of the season. Okay. Only what? 4 months? 4 months of baseball have taken place?
Only 2 months of baseball.
Okay, I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
2 months of baseball.
2 months of baseball has taken place. So, if I'm sitting here and I'm going, and it's not just the fact that I'm a Mets fan, okay, and to all them also Yankee haters and all of baseball haters that say, oh, we wish that this man, falls off a cliff, and all types of hateful things that you say in sports. Listen, I am not panicking. My man Sess is not panicking. This is what it is. If Soto, as long as Soto stays healthy, stays humble, has the right attitude in that clubhouse, you're about to see greatness. Okay? Right now, we have Aaron Judge, who clearly is a beast in baseball. He's the best right-handed hitter in baseball.
No question.
He towers. He's Godzilla and King Kong. Let's call it for what it is. But when it comes to Juan Soto, my good people, sport fans, baseball fans, pump your brakes. Take a pause. Because, and you know what? Keep the same energy. Because when he does turn it around, don't be sitting there talking about, oh, I'm a Juan Soto fan. That's all I got to say.
He's definitely going to turn it around. He's top 5% of hard hit balls in baseball right now. So those turn into hits eventually. He's definitely going to turn it around. Great job breaking that down. See, I know you wanted to mention this. It's pretty cool. The Negro Leagues in Kansas City have a special exhibit. By the way, the Negro Leagues is on my bucket list. I know we've talked about this. We will get there. Negro Leagues Museum, if you're hearing us, we will be there one day.
And yes, hopefully shoot a podcast.
That's right.
There.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Roll out that red carpet for us, baby. Anyway, the Negro Leagues have an exhibit right now showcasing the top black managers in baseball history, which is pretty cool to think about. Guys like Rube Foster, one of my favorite Negro League players of all time, Buck O'Neil, Vic Harris, Candy Jim Taylor, guys from the Negro Leagues that a lot of people don't know. And guys, our listeners, being a big fan of the genre, I would say, guys, go online and look these guys up. These guys were tremendous baseball players. Rube Foster could pitch. He could hit. He managed. Buck O'Neil pitched. He hit. He played first base. He played outfield. They did everything. These boys were unbelievable. They were so good. Which got us to thinking, right now in baseball, there's only 2 black managers of the 30 teams. It's Dave Roberts, of course, with the Dodgers, world champion, and Ron Washington, who's been managing for years. He's with the Angels right now. Only 2, which I was a little bit surprised by, my man. What do you think about that?
Those 2 names alone have been successful in baseball. Yep. Mm-hmm. Regardless of any type of past controversies, especially with Ron Washington. Mm-hmm. He gels with the players. They respect him. They respect his knowledge. Dave Roberts goes without say. His baseball knowledge and his IQ is phenomenal. As a player with the Boston Red Sox, he won a World Series, and he spent time in the MLB as well as a player. Mm-hmm. And now he's with the Dodgers, which, let's be clear, when you have the money to spend and you have the the general manager, or you have the people who go and get these players and seek these players, and whether it's free agency or outside. When I say outside, internationally, that's what the Dodgers have done, and they are doing. But without the international, let's be clear: the number one reason why the Dodgers are doing what they're doing is because of money. Okay, their money, and it's very sneakily money that they're doing it. Again, they are on top of the food chain when it comes to getting these great players. But let's be clear again, money talks, and all that other stuff runs the marathon. So I give them more props to Dave Roberts and his success because of what he's done. But he has a village behind him. Okay, let's be clear. He has a village behind him that makes the Dodgers great.
So Dave Roberts, Ron Washington, hopefully next year and for years to come, those numbers will only increase, because 2 is not a lot, in my opinion. And, there's definitely opportunities to be had. There's teams out there that can use a new coaching staff right now, So,
real quick,
yeah,
Seth, I'm sorry. Let me chime in again on that as well, because I allowed my own personal feelings to get involved in that. So I want to stand corrected and apologize to the listeners. This is a very great topic to talk about, and I just hope our listeners can, put themselves in a position to sit there and say, like, wow, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. 2 actively African-American managers are only managing inside of baseball. There is so much more talent if given the opportunity that these major league teams would just give the opportunity. And it's not even just African American. It's so much more cultural that is out there. And if they're given the opportunity, I believe that the talks and the discussions will be different.
Yes, sir.
But for us to bring it up, obviously it's a problem. And that's what we're doing on our platform. That's what we're doing on our podcast. And that's what I mean to say.
Nice, brother. Nice. Yes, indeed.
Tigers leading the pack, Ohtani chasing history, and all-star votes up for grabs. Village Legends letting you know what's up. Give us a like and subscribe now.
Couldn't agree with you more. So that got us to thinking, right? Who are the top 5 black managers in Major League history, at least as far as we're concerned, right? So we know, I think by default, Dave Roberts is in there, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be in there.
Yeah.
Is Ron Washington in there?
I would say Ron he's a phenomenal manager.
Yep.
But I wouldn't put him in a top 5.
Okay, so we got we got Dave Roberts for sure. We got Frank Robinson, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Yes.
The MVP in both leagues, by the way, as a player. MVP in the American League and in the National League. Don't get it twisted. Frank was the truth. Great manager in his own right. Dusty Baker, my boy, who I love. I love Dusty Baker.
Dusty Baker is a phenomenal, and we pay homage and an applause to that man, because Dusty, for all he's done and all he's been through with managing, and he was a former player, let's be clear. He finally won his World Series title with the Houston Astros.
Yes, sir. I love Dusty in the dugout with wristbands with his own face on them. That's my favorite. And shout out to Dusty too. He wrote me a handwritten letter once upon a time. That's a story for another day. Shout out to Dusty. Another one who doesn't get talked about a lot, Cito Gaston, who was the manager of the Toronto Blue Jays when they went back-to-back and won the World Series. Cito, a great manager in his own right. I would throw him in the top 5. And then there's 2 other guys. Whether you agree, let me know. Willie Randolph, of course.
Oh, man.
And himself. I know you love Willie. That's your boy.
I love Willie.
Yeah, that's your boy.
I love Willie Randolph. I feel that he was given a short-term position as the Mets manager. I just wish we would have loved to have seen him get at least about 8 years as our manager, because he would have brought a championship back to New York.
Ooh, I can't disagree with you. I thought he was great for the team. He brought some of those strict Yankee policies over to Queens, and some of the younger players especially didn't really take to that too well. So I'm with you. I don't think he really got a fair shot, Willie. So shout out to him on our top 5 list. Last guy I have Don Baylor, another classic manager, managed the Rockies for many years, and somewhere else too. I can't recall, but he was amazing.
Don Baylor was a hell of a manager as well. Yes.
So to round it out again, folks, Frank Robinson, Dusty Baker, Dave Roberts, Cito Gaston, and then take your pick of Willie Randolph, Ron Washington, Don Baylor.
Correct.
All right. The top 5 black managers in MLB history, and that is our extra point of the day.
You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. MLB. Thanks for walking with us through Major League Baseball right there. When you hear that bell, ding, 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 you know what that means. It's time for C Flash's boxing segment. Take it away, brother.
All right. So we're going to get into boxing real fast, and we're going to talk about some good stuff. I'm going to slow the train down because, I like to bring up the boxing segment, and when I do, I'm very passionate about boxing. And again, to all the listeners and people who truly follow Village Legends podcast, I stand corrected, that one thing about C Flash is that I'm truly passionate about boxing. I make comments even on Facebook. I make comments on a lot of social media that, I, as a boxing fan, along with others, we're tired of being deprived. One thing that I really hope that everyone gets an opportunity to go check out. It's on YouTube, which would be it's called The Art of Ward, with the undefeated boxer and future Hall of Famer Andre Ward, who is the host. Again, it's called The Art of Ward podcast, and he's interviewing Bernard Hopkins. Folks, to all my boxing fans and listeners, I want to be clear. Normally in boxing, we have people, we have the boxers that everyone loves to hate. We have the villains, and that's what they are, villains. But you know what? That is talent. That is intellect, and it sells fights on their end. I want to be clear about the whole industry and the whole sport of boxing, that there are so many things that go into selling fights. There's so many things that go into bigging up boxers from the bottom to the top and making them, great. For one, you cannot ever fake boxing. You can never ever sugarcoat boxing. You cannot not be real when it comes to a boxing match, because you're going to be tested. You're going to be put in that ring where your jaw is going to be tested. The great Mike Tyson once said that everybody has a plan for him until they get punched in the mouth. Huh? That is a saying that still goes global and viral to this day. But I'm not here to talk about that. I want to talk and pay homage to the executioner, Bernard Hopkins. B-Hop, the executioner, and Bernard Hopkins as the person. Bernard Hopkins grew up in North Philly, a Philadelphian product, in and out. And his story truly is unique. For those who don't know, Bernard was incarcerated during his teenage years, and also ended up as an adult incarcerated. He talks about how boxing is in his DNA, from his father to his uncles, that boxing was destined to happen for him At one point, he never saw it, but he soon realized it when he was incarcerated, and he would box for, believe it or not, for titles in boxing. The prison where Bernard was stationed at in PA, he was the champion. And once he was let out, he became professional. And it talks more about it in that Art Award podcast. Shout out to Andre Ward and his podcast, because I truly believe, as a boxing fan, this is great. And Andre Ward, you and your people do a hell of a job with the interviewing of boxers, and also talking about the in game and the out game, the corruption, the things that, and Andre Ward, there's certain things that I, from what I watch and listen to, that you try not to talk about, but you let the other fighters that you interview talk about. And that's awesome. And you speak truth. And hopefully one day we'll be able to, me and my man Sess will be able to sit down and interview you, Andre Ward, because you retired undefeated, my brother. So
Yes,
we pay homage to you, Andre Ward. Again, my good people, if you have the opportunity, please tune in to the Art of Ward podcast of Andre Ward interviewing Bernard Hopkins. But we want to give congratulations to Dustin Jacoby, who defeated Bruno Lopez for the light heavyweight division. I don't believe there was a title up for grabs, but this was in the MMA, UFC. So we give a shout out to Justin Jacoby for defeating, again, Bruno Lopez. I know that for as long as I know you've been a Bernard Hopkins fan.
Yes, big time.
Is there anything you would like to say about Bernard Hopkins?
Well, I nothing that you haven't already said. I love Bernard Hopkins. What a story. I'm sure he's going to write a book one day if he doesn't already have one, but his journey is unique as it gets. 55 wins, 8 losses in his career, 2 draws and 2 no contests, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he had that reputation for leading with his head for a little while there, but B-Hop was the truth, man. He just wanted to fight. He wanted to mix it up. He wasn't going to run away from you. He was going to mix it up with you. So shout out to B-Hop. Yeah.
Real quick, he talked about the fight with Oscar De La Hoya. Mm-hmm. How people got on De La Hoya and thought the fight was fixed because De La Hoya went down from a body shot.
Yeah.
And in the clip, B-Hop came out and said, have you ever been hit in the liver? The liver. And it was like, I know I ain't never been hit with a body shot to the liver.
No.
So he was like, at the end of the day, what you mean it was fixed? No, that was art. That was skill.
That was beautiful.
And he hit him so quick. That's why Oscar went down and the fight was over.
It shut Oscar's whole system down, that liver shot.
And then the other thing he talked about that everybody questioned him on, and he brought it up in the podcast with the Art of Ward, was the rice and beans issue in Puerto Rico when you're when you were at the what do you call it, when he was at the press conference for Felix Trinidad.
Excuse me.
Did you know exactly where you were at, and did you know exactly what you were doing when you did that? So there's a lot that goes into that particular podcast, which lasts almost 2 hours. And I really hope that people really tune into it, because you get to really hear the great champ Bernard Hopkins, who held down the middleweight division for many, many years, more than marvelous Marvin Hagler. And the Hall of Famer is real. B-Hop is real. Just tune in, folks, if you can.
Nice. The Art of Ward on YouTube, right? Awesome, brother. Up next, we got a few NFL tidbits to touch on.
Well, first of all, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills starting quarterback Josh Allen.
Cha-ching.
for getting married.
Oh, pardon me. I thought I thought you were going to tell me he signed a new contract. Never mind. Go ahead. Carry on.
It's a possibility, extension might happen. To Josh Allen and his new missus, actress Haley Steinfeld. They both got married on May 31st of this year, and we congratulate them and give them all props and wish them very well moving forward.
She's in the Marvel movies.
Yes, and she is. She's a talent.
Go ahead, Josh.
They are both riding high, and they're very talented people. So in the NFL, folks, they had the recent talks and voting selections, not selections, but voting discussions about banning the tush push, and it failed. So we will continue to have the tush push in the NFL. It's a debate for both me and my man Sess and the listeners to debate it as well. I think this, folks, and I'm going to be as honest as possible. This was the stupidest, the dumbest thing that you can put to a conversation or to a vote about having to stop something that we watch on TV on a regular. And you never see anybody get injured. You never see anybody have to go to the hospital. So why is it such a major debate? Why is it such a major argument or discussion to be made to try to ban something that doesn't need to be banned? At the end of the day, stop it. If you don't like it, stop it. Former New England, I'm sorry, I stand corrected, folks. Former Philadelphia Eagles center Jason Kelce came out and went to one of the meetings and described exactly and explained why you should not get rid of the tush push. He did it for 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, and explained that there has not been anything as far as factual or put on paper statistically where people have been injured, because that was the whole talk, if I'm not mistaken, is that, it's injuring people. That is a lie. That is a lie. These NFL teams just don't like it because it works and they can't stop it. So what you do is you start preparing for it. That's the best thing for you to do. I even heard Bart Scott, former Jets linebacker, sit there and say, this should be banned. It should not be. And I'm like, Bart Scott, why? Of all people, you are on ESPN as an analyst. You are on podcast. Bart, what is it? Maybe it's because of the time you played as a Jet, or the time that you were as a Raven. You just didn't win. You didn't win a title. You didn't win a Super Bowl. You didn't win a AFC championship ring. But at the end of the day, Bart Scott, sometimes I agree with what you're saying, but right now you sound like a hater. And it's bad. Bart, I remember watching you play my New York Giants, and it was a preseason game, and we call it the Snoopy Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, because it's just the time that the Jets and the Giants play, and if it ain't in a regular season, the preseason is for bragging rights. Mm-hmm. And I remember after the game, I told you, Bart, I said, man, I forgot what I said, but I gotta say that I got a response from you, and it was classic because I kept it real with you. I said, man, listen, y'all ain't got nothing for us. You guys are our little brothers. And again, I'm not trying to disrespect you Jet fans, but the proof and the truth is in the pudding. Let's be clear on that. Again, Bart Scott, and along with other NFL former players, that have a platform, that are on their podcasts and talking about this, please stop trying to make this an issue as to say that the tush push is a problem. That's all I got to say, folks.
Couldn't agree with you more. Tush push to me is nothing, just a nothing burger, as they say. It's a football play. Stop it, and that's it. It'll be a wrap.
Hate it or love it, the Tush Push moves chains. We're breaking it down and talking our talk. Talk yours too. Yay or nay to the love shove.
We want to, pay our respects to Jim Irsay. Some say he was controversial. I don't think so. I think Jim was his own person. He wanted to win just like any NFL owner or any professional sports owner. It's all about winning. And, he took over and won his Super Bowl ring with the Colts when he had Peyton Manning and, the rest of those stars that were on that team, including head coach Tony Dungy. Irsay had the Indianapolis Colts put on the map, and a lot of it came from his effort and his hard work to build something of a champion. And we need to pay respects to Mr. Jim Irsay. Rest in peace to you, and respects to your family as well during this time of grief.
Rest in peace, Mr. Irsay. A lot of people know him as having the greatest guitar collection on the planet. They say he's got guitars from Bob Dylan, the Beatles, Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, shout out to his family. May he rest in peace, my brother. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging with us through the National Football League. We're going to touch real quick on some tennis talk. We want to congratulate Novak Djokovic for getting his 100th career win this past week. Shout out to him. And, he's actually in the French Open right now. He just moved on to the 4th round. Him and Carlos Alcaraz, the notables there that have advanced, my brother.
Yes. Novak has been, he had to kick the door down, I'll say, because he was going against top competition with Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. When tennis was all about, Federer and Nadal, it was, that's just what we talked about as far as on a men's circuit. On the women's circuit, you had Serena along with her competition and her greats. And, but on the men aspect, you had just Nadal and Federer, who just continuously would compete for championships. Those two men definitely graced our presence with their talent. Had me sitting down numerous times watching their finals and how they met and the hype before the finals. And I just, to see how Djokovic came in and said, "Hey, I'm here. Enough is enough. And you guys will respect me." That's how I take it. And Novak has been a beast since 2006 when he got his first career singles title. And in previous episodes, we talked about our top 5 and tennis players. And, the time that me and my boy Seth were coming up in the 90s, it was Pete Sampras. Andre Agassi was nasty as well, but Pete Sampras was the king. He held the crown. And for those who disagree with me, hey, I still respect you. I got love for you, but I'm gonna speak my truths and my opinion. Pete Sampras was that dude. And And again, my top 5 would be Pete Sampras, Roger Federer, and Novak. Then there would be Rafael Nadal and Borg.
Shout out to Bjorn Borg.
Taking him back to the 80s. And tennis is just, it's a real good sport when you sit there and you zoom in and sit down on your couch or, wherever you're at. Just, take time to really get into tennis, because tennis is a competitive sport, folks. And again, congratulations to Novak Djokovic, because you are definitely a soon-to-be future Hall of Famer, and you represent the ATP very well.
Yes, indeed. Congrats to the man himself. One quick tidbit from me on the soccer tip, folks. Yesterday in Munich, Germany, was the UEFA Champions League final. Paris Saint-Germain versus Inter Milan of Italy. And the winner in a blowout was PSG. Paris Saint-Germain won 5-0. 2 goals from Doué, 1 from Hakimi, and a couple from the other guys. Shout out to them. They are the champions of the UEFA World. Thank you so much for hanging with us. We appreciate you here on episode 8. As always, this episode is brought to you by Certified Every Sport. Certified Every Sport, CES for short. Makers of pro quality baseball and softball gloves and batting gloves and bats. So check them out on certifiedeverysport.com. Instagram, same name. And of course, we finish it off with today's birthdays. Give a couple shout outs to the birthdays for June 1st and the week of June 1st. Greg Schiano, the current football coach of Rutgers, celebrates a birthday today. Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Coach.
Former Jets wide receiver and pretty good career for this wide receiver, Santana Moss.
All right.
Celebrates a birthday today. Speaking of tennis, former women's great Justine Henin. Justine Henin, a 7-time Grand Slam champion, celebrates a birthday today. And yesterday's birthday, happy belated, to Broadway Joe Namath of the great New York Jets.
Hey,
what can we say about Broadway Joe?
Broadway Joe and them fur coats.
Yes, sir.
That swag. Joe, you brought something to New York that I guess will never be seen again, especially being a Jet.
A championship?
A championship.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Joe, and again, to the Jet fans, that's not a jab. It's the truth, folks.
Hang in there, Jets fans. Hang in there. Folks, episode 8 is a wrap. As always, my boy C Flash will take us out the way only he can. Give it to him, C.
Again, my good people, we sit here and we're only here because of you. And we thank you for allowing us to shoot and get another episode, which is episode 8. We hope and that everyone has a great week and stay safe out there. And we're going to do this again next week.
Peace.
You know you want to be the first to know about the next controversial take, or maybe you just need a laugh to get through the week. Either way, hit subscribe and join the squad. We've got enough hot takes to keep your brain burning.